I did an honors BA in French and pursued a career in French as a French teacher for many years, all the while starting to go to culinary schools and do articles for the Toronto Star on a weekly basis, for Canadian Living magazine, and cookbooks. So my first cookbook was Classic Canadian Cooking, and it was in 1974. So it's just had its 40th birthday. And then it was through these going to culinary schools and having opportunities in magazines and to do my own cookbooks that really set me on to the rest of my life. And I quit teaching French, and I have ever since been working in the food world.
When I got married, I had 2 children, and when I was home with them, I decided that I would do a little more in terms of cooking and developing recipes and that sort of thing. So, and lucky enough to have some friends who were in the field, and people like Monda Rosenberg, and who actually has a cottage here in Muskoka. So that's one thing sort of led to another, and then I started writing for a number of national magazines and cookbooks, 14 cookbooks altogether. So.
But we're not just going to make an ordinary apple pie. We're going to include some of the Muskoka and Val berries, cranberries. I love making pies. They're part of a Canadian tradition, and it's a tradition that's kind of was a little bit forgotten for a while. But I think people are realizing that with fresh fruit and local fruit, that it's actually a wonderful tradition to have, and we celebrate that at Thanksgiving. So instead of pumpkin, which is okay, apple's better, and cranberries, because they come from here, are really what you want to include with the apples. So there we are, cranberry apple pie, but not just a regular pie. We're going to make a galette, which is in French is a cookie, but in this case it's a pie. If the camera can see this, it's a pie with the pastry that rolls over the edge. So it's a kind of free-form pie, a little bit like free-form pizzas and that kind of thing.
We had a session this morning and one workshop, and people were very pleased with what they had made, and they were to take home an apple and cranberry pie that they could either cook for tonight or they could put in the freezer and have it on Thanksgiving Day. So, and everyone seemed to have a successful pie, so we gave them all a pass.
It really is like if you're making pierogies, or if you're making phyllo dough, or if you're making puff pastry, or if you're making any kind of a pie paste, it's actually experiencing it and knowing that this is how small the butter should be, this is how much liquid you put in, and then to not be afraid of it and roll out and have fun.
I think if you are really interested and passionate about something, it's easy to do. So, but it helps to have friends who are in the business, so to help you along the way. I was lucky that way.